As you can see, Donkey Kong Jr. is up and running. And this is my double Donkey Kong board. With adding the 5 volts to the power supply, or to the jammer harness, the board now works. Now there was a couple problems, there still is. First problem is I had the ribbon cables here, the connectors were dirty. So I wiggled them and got the game working. So I went ahead and pulled both of the ribbon cables and used my deoxit and give them a good spray and plugged them in and out a few times. Now they're working fine. Now the only problem I got left is these 2 pots, adjustment pots. One is for vertical position and one for horizontal position. That's vertical position, that's horizontal. This one right here for the vertical is bad. I don't know, I looked, the solder joint doesn't look cracked on the board. It looks like it's flexing where the metal is gone into the wafer of the pot itself. So if I wiggle the pot, you can see what happens. So I might try to add some solder because it is soldered to the wafer here, but I don't know if that'll fix it. Might have to just get a new pot, but I don't have one for it, so I'll have to order it. All right, well, I got my order in from Stephen Gregory at arcadeshop.com, and I started to order these from Mike's Arcade, but he was out of stock. So just so happened I did a little search and found out that Arcade Shop had them in stock. What did we get? Well, first thing, if you watched my other video about getting the converter working for the Popeye board, so it would display the monitor correctly, I didn't have any jammer connectors, so I ordered some jammer connectors, so I'll have them in the future. Put them in my stock. And this is the main thing I needed. 2 pots for the double Donkey Kong. These are the vertical and horizontal adjustment pots that go on the video board. They're not identical to the ones on the board, but my search, I couldn't find any that was identical to it, and that's usually the case, but these have the same the value and the same wattage and the same footprint. And that's one of the most important things is the footprints that should go right into the board. And I ordered one more little thing here. And this is an adapter. And this will be for a future project. But it has to do with my double Donkey Kong board. This is an adapter. It's called a Nintendo Pass-Through adapter, and it's for Donkey Kong 3, Popeye, and Mario Brothers. And I'm sure it'll work for Donkey Kong Jr. too, I'm pretty sure. But well, you know, I really don't need this for Donkey Kong Jr. Donkey Kong Jr. I think has the connectors on it, or does it? Yeah, I believe it does. Okay, well anyway, I got this so if I want to, I could put the Popeye in an upright in a Donkey Kong cabinet. I just have to reorient the monitor. This has all the power plugs because the Donkey Kong cabinet doesn't have the edge connector. it has the individual cables that plug into the board. So if I ever want to use that board in an upright, I'll have that. So like I say, that's for a future project down the road. I'm not sure when I'll use that, but I figured since I was placing an order, I would go ahead and get it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to install these pots. Now, only one of the pots is bad, so I'm wondering, should I go ahead and replace both the pots? Since only one of them's bad. I did order two, and they were only like $1.49 a piece. So I'm thinking go ahead and make them both identical. I might go ahead and just replace both of them. So let me get the board up here and we'll take a look at it. And I'm pretty sure it was this one right here that was bad. Now the good one here doesn't wobble any. Now this one did wiggle back and forth, but I went ahead and hit it with the solder right on these 2 points right here. Yeah, let me see if I can zoom in for you here. Might be a little washed out. Let me cut this light off. Okay, now they're soldered to the board in 3 places because it's a regular variable resistor pot. But the has 2 solder points on the wafer, one right here and one right here, and that solders to the variable resistor that's on the pot that the wiper wipes back and forth on. And evidently it broke loose right there where that metal attaches to that carbon wiper, not the wiper, but the carbon trace that's on the board that actually is the variable resistance when you turn the pot, because the third leg is the wiper that wipes on the carbon track. So evidently it broke loose. That carbon track broke loose from however it's attached there, and it was soldered, so I tried to resolder it and it didn't work. It just went totally kaput. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and take this board apart. I'll start by removing the rainbow cable here. And I'm just going to take the video board off of the CPU board because the video board has the pots on it here. So I'm going to go ahead and take these ribbon cables loose. And now I got to take the pop standoffs loose. They got 2 little tabs you got to squeeze in, and then you push up on it and it comes apart. Just like the Popeye board had. I believe they're the same spacing, they're identical. Just want to be careful with them because they are old, even though I believe they're nylon. They're pretty tough, but they will break if you try to force them. Okay, got the video board loose. So I'll put the CPU board back out the way here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to desolder these pots. And I'm going to start with the bad one here. And let me see, put a little more light on the subject here. Zoom in on it. All right, now probably going to take a little more heat than usual because these are soldered, looks like 2 of the legs of each one are soldered to this big, I don't know if it's a ground plane or more than likely it's a ground. And the one, well, actually, only one of them is. No. Only one, I think, soldered to the ground plane. Anyway, might be a little difficult. I might have to turn the heat up on my desoldering tool here, but I've already cleaned it and should be ready to go. Let me get a little bit of solder here, and I might have to change my tip. I don't know, it depends. No, it'll go over top of it. So I think I'm going to be okay. Oh yeah, hear that suction? Well, I still need to turn it up just a little bit, but it looks like it's doing okay. This must be the one on the ground plane. It's not even hardly doing anything. Now, let me try this other one. Okay, this one's loosening up. Can you hear that suction? Like I said, I just cleaned the gun and I put some silicone grease on it to seal up the chamber right there. Okay, I'm going to turn the heat up and see if I can get this one loose on the ground plane here. If not, I can take my soldering iron and heat it up and just pull it out. Okay, took a little bit longer, and it just fell out. So that part is out. All right, well, I'm at it. Let's get the other one. That one is slow heating up, but there it goes. Have to add some more solder to that one. I want to cooperate. There it goes. All right, now for the tough one. All right, fell out anyway. And holes cleared out. All right, let's see. Thought I had my flux brush out here. Let me find it. Be right back. Okay, I found it. It was hiding from me. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take some rubbing alcohol here. And just clean the flux off the board here. It has some flux residue on there. Looked like it was original before I even, or maybe somebody had touched them up at one time. I don't know. Okay. Just let that dry, and then I'll come back and we'll put these pots in and solder them in. Okay, help it dry a little bit. I found my can of air here. I don't have access to an air compressor in here. All right, it ought to be good. All right. Well, the way these pots are set up, I'd rather have them facing this way, but it looks like they're going to have to go in this direction. It's just the way they're made on the board here. It's the way the footprint is. And they look like they're going to lean back a little bit. I could straighten that up a little bit, but I don't like bending on a new pot too much. All right, that looks pretty good. Now we'll go ahead and put my foam blocks under here. just to help hold them up. And a simple little solder job here. Get this out the way. I think that looks okay. Yeah, that's all it is to it. I got 2 brand new pots installed. Yeah, they're both leaning back a little bit, but that's okay. That'll keep them out the way. Now, let's see. I got a little notch right there where the middle is, so I'm going to put them both halfway in the middle. That's the starting point. And then once we get it back together, we can adjust them. So let's get our CPU board back here. And I have to put it the right way. Got to line up the ribbon cables. I'm actually missing one of the standoffs on this end over here. I don't know if I have any of these or not, but I might check and see if I got something that'll work. All right. Now, I'd already cleaned these ribbon cables on the last clip. I used deoxit on these because I had a problem where I had a bad connection on one of them. But they should be good to go. All right, one last thing. Hook up the rainbow cable. All right, let's see. Still got the Popeye board hooked up here, so let me unplug it. And I'm going to flip it over so we can adjust the boards. And because I got these boards right here, I'm going to put one of these foam cushions up here to even it out some. Okay, well, let me go ahead and get this camera situated a little different, and we'll fire it up and we'll adjust the pots and see if we fixed a problem. Okay, well, we're all ready to power the game up. So let's go ahead and power it up, see what happens. Okay, that's just a adjustment on my monitor here. But I don't know which one it is. There it is. Okay. Now we just have to dial it in with the pots here. So there's one pot does the, I guess that would be the vertical position, up and down. Yeah. And this one is horizontal. This makes it from side to side. But if you look, the monitor is a little bit too wide, so I'm going to have to got all these adjustments here. Okay. I think that's pretty close. All right, let's see what Donkey Kong looks like. This is double Donkey Kong, and that's Donkey Kong Jr. Because I had this in a Donkey Kong Jr. cocktail, I have it set up in the boot menu to boot up in Donkey Kong Jr. But if you press and hold both the player 1 and player 2 button together, it changes to Donkey Kong. And I believe this is going to look okay too here. Yep. So that's it. New pots did the trick. That's all it was. So this is just another simple little arcade fix. Have you had your arcade fix today?